guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for another one of our mass making sessions, and I'm rerunning week number 17. So we are week number 117, would you believe? Which is Flippy pads. So yeah, I've got a whole massive bunch of different papers and things here to make a whole variety of Flippy pads with. So if you're planning on crafting along with me, bring along kind of a variety of scraps and doilies and maybe some proper, you know, genuine vintage kind of ephemera pieces, some, I don't know, book pages, some fly sheets, some, you know, this manuscript paper, whatever you can find. You can, of course, use printables and things. Probably kind of single-sided works better because obviously you're going to be journaling, you know, using these as, you know, journaling pads. And you can have some tracing paper and things as well, you know, because this is going to all add nice texture and things to your Flippy pads. You can use book page and things. I mean, obviously how useful and usable book page is going to be, you know, kind of depends. I mean, you could gesso over it and things when you come to use it. It's up to you, really. I probably won't use a book page. If I do, it would be more for decorative purposes rather than, you know, usable pieces. So, yeah, perhaps I will do some, but, yeah, it would be pretty much for decorative kind of purposes. So that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a stapler or your sewing machine. Now, I'm going to staple all of mine because, as I kind of say often in these mass making, obviously I want these to be accessible for everybody. And of course, not everybody has access to a sewing machine. But everywhere where I'm stapling, you could obviously just run, you know, your Flippy pad through your sewing machine. So, you know, please don't kind of feel that you can't use your sewing machine. You, of course, can. Sorry, the other thing that you can use is paper bag. So again, I've got some paper bag here actually, which I'd meant to put up onto my desk and it was still on the floor. Again, this is kind of a H&M bag, and I would probably cut off the section with writing. So I'm just going to kind of cut that off. I'm not going to throw it away because of course I could use that, you know, back, you know, that side for other projects and things. But yeah, in the Flippy pads, I would probably use this, you know, without the writing. So I mean, obviously that needs to come down slightly more, but you know, that's just to give you kind of another texture and another kind of different page, if you like, for your Flippy pads. So aside from that, you may need some scissors and you may want some lace or something to put at the top, but you know, that's completely optional, and you know, maybe you would do that later. So let's get kind of making, and we'll make one or two and then we'll kind of go more assembly line style. So of course, these can be any size that you like. So I'm just going to start by taking this, you know, tracing paper, and I'm just going to trim it down on the edge. And then obviously, as you can see, I've printed borderless, or sorry, I haven't printed borderless, or perhaps I printed borderless, but it didn't quite make it to the edges. I can't honestly remember. But I'm just going to then marry this with a couple of other kind of sheets that I think it would look good with. So as it happens, you know, it will look really nice with this invoice type piece here. So, and this is just from my Melrose Garden printable. So I'm just going to cut it down along this line here, like that. Oops, and this has been coffee dyed. So, you know, it's nice and vintage looking. And then we could have maybe some manuscript paper, although actually now I'm thinking maybe some doily would look really pretty. So yeah, let's get some doily here. So what I'm going to do is just cut this down here on the side and across here. Like that. And then I'm just going to take the center section, you know, where in the center you've got like the plain doily piece, and I'm just going to cut that down because again, you know, this makes good pages or good paper in your Flippy pads, and it's just all about adding kind of a variety of different pages really, and papers and textures and things. So, you know, it's not essential to do that, but I guess it all just adds to the interest that you're going to have in your finished pad. So just cut that down on that edge. So I can put that there like that. Okay, and then I've got some of my food coloured papers as well, and this might be going to be too green, you know, way too green. It is, yeah, it is quite green, isn't it? I feel like it is a bit too green. So what else I've got is I've got some vintage documents here. So again, this has all been coffee dyed, but it's the original vintage document. So again, I can just take this, oops, to here, so as I get kind of the rough width that it needs to be. Just cut that down like that. And then I'm just going to tear that off. Okay. Put that there. And then this here, maybe have this sheet as well, actually. Thinking would be nice. So I might just tear that down a bit shorter, like that. Okay, now, so I'm going to just be stapling mine. Like I say, you can of course use your sewing machine for this, but due to, you know, kind of accessibility for everybody, I'm just going to staple it. Now, I'm going to then trim mine down at the edges, and again, this is an optional step. You can leave yours all kind of jaggedy sized pages. I have done that in the past, and it's, you know, it's really nice too. So just, you know, play around and find the style that suits you best, or, you know, make a variety so you've got a whole different bunch of flippy pads for different things that you want to use them in. But that's all there is to it. So then you've got, obviously, you know, different pages there for journaling in, and you've got a whole mix of different things, which is really nice and sort of interesting. And then of course you could then finish that off. I just like to finish it off with sort of a line of lace or something like that at the top. And again, this is particularly handy if you've used staples. You can then, let me just, okay, so you can then cover up the backs of your staples with the lace. So turn it over, or the back of the stitching, I guess, you know, if you didn't want the back of your stitching showing. And then just go straight the way across, like that. Oops, come on, like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim that down on that corner, like that. And isn't that just the most gorgeous little pad? I just really, really love it. So we'll just make another one, and I'll kind of talk you through a second one, and and then I will stop kind of talking you through the process, because I mean, of course, you know, they're not very complicated or anything, but yeah, I'll just talk you through one more. So I'll put that to one side. So let's do a much smaller one now. So I can take this paper bag, for example, and let's just tear it down here. And then I'm just going to cut down here along this fold line. And I'm just going to just cut that text off, or certainly, you know, more of it, like that. So we've got then a brown sheet, and we can marry that up. Well, perhaps we could marry it up even with that vellum. So yeah, let's kind of have it there. Oops. Okay. Again, just now cut up there, and then just tear it down here. Okay. Now, I'm probably going to make this quite a bit shorter, because when it's quite narrow, I don't like it looking quite so, you know, long. It looks a bit strange, I think. So yeah, I will probably make this a lot narrower. Now I'm just going to cut this portion off here, like this. And then what I might do is use this instead of where we use the lace, you know, across the top. I might use this paper. So you know, to kind of take the, or, you know, cover up the staples. So I'll show you that in a second. Let's just take a narrow piece from here. So yeah, let's just take that down there. Oops. Okay, so this one now, this is a few different kind of widths. So, you know, that was what I was kind of talking about before, when you can have kind of, oh, actually it's not really, sorry. Oh no, it is. I left that on the piece of paper. I thought, well, that's really strange, because just now it looked really wide. Yeah, so we've got some different widths there, and then let's just bring in some more page. So I've got this page here, which, you know, it's quite bluish, but again, kind of tones quite nicely. So I'm just going to, again, just take that down there, cut that here, like that. And actually, I'm going to use that end, I think. So I'll just trim that down slightly. So, I mean, you really can kind of mix in anything and everything with these. You know, so you've got a really good variety of pages going on. So that's our little scrappy pad. Okay, and just put that over there like that. So then I'm going to just staple this down. Actually, I'm going to staple it much further down, and then I'm going to chop it down. So I'm just going to cut it here, so it's a lot shorter and kind of more stumpy looking. And then I'm just going to take this paper, and just exactly as we did the lace, but I'm going to glue the paper over the top there instead. So again, just run a piece of, or not a piece, but, you know, run a bit of glue across the top like that. And then on the back, exactly the same, like that. And just fold that over like that. And then we can just, again, trim that down here on the side. So, and you've got just there a gorgeous little flippy pad. So really, really cute, isn't it? And, you know, you can play around then with your pages. So, I mean, this one, you know, the brown paper, it's a bit long, which, yeah, kind of just trim that down. I might even trim it down here now, to be honest, because, yeah, perhaps I think it looks better if they're all sort of similar widths. Yeah, okay. So that's that one, and you can see how the paper just works, just, you know, just as well as the lace, like that. So that's our first two flippy pads. So I'm just going to continue in the same vein, but what I'll probably do is kind of do it more assembly line style, so kind of layer up my bits and then staple them all, you know, all at the same time. So hopefully we can kind of then achieve quite a few. And yeah, we can just then relax, have a nice time, and yeah, have a catch up really. So I hope everyone's having a good day and a good start to their week. Obviously it's very early on in the week, and yeah, if you watch my channel, you'll know that I kind of film these generally on a Monday. So yeah, for me it's Monday today, and yeah, I'm filming it's, well, about, I don't know, 11 o'clock or something. Yeah, the sun's shining. It's such a gorgeous day today. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm hoping to go for a bit of a walk, because it's, well, I'm not going to say it's the first nice day that we've had for ages, because it's probably not, but I can't really recall having such a lovely day recently. You know, it's really, really gorgeous. So yeah, I'm hoping to go for a bit of a walk later. So it's the school holidays, and yeah, my daughter is at her dad's house today. So yeah, she's there, and yeah, so I'm hoping to go for a walk just with my middle son. My eldest son, obviously, he's at work. He's not at school, he's at work. So of course he won't be coming with us, but yeah, I'm hoping that my middle son and I can go for a nice walk. He is supposed to be meeting his friends, so I'm currently waiting for him to message his friend. He's going to message him, because you know what youngsters are like. Sometimes they make these plans and then they kind of fall through. So, yeah, I'm secretly hoping it's going to fall through and he'll be able to come out for a walk. So, because, yeah, it just feels like ages since we've actually had a lovely walk. And I feel like today that would be just what the doctor ordered. You know, I've had a bit of a silly silly weekend, really. So anyway, silly few days, let's just say. But anyway, I don't want to kind of get into moaning like I seem to spend half my life doing at the moment. But yeah, so I could really appreciate having a lovely walk. So I'm really just praying that his plans fall through and that we can actually go for a nice walk instead. So I mean, it's out in the country where we're planning on walking. So I mean, I could go on my own. I'm not really too sure that I would feel confident going on my own, because it's a bit of a long walk, and I don't know, I'd feel a bit funny kind of doing it on my own, I think. So yeah, if he doesn't want, you know, not doesn't want to, but you know, if he can't come, then I probably just won't go. So, but that's fine, you know. It is what it is, isn't it? So, you know, these youngsters, they kind of you know, and rightly so, they kind of get lives for themselves, which is great, isn't it? You know, that's part of kind of growing up and part of being a parent and knowing that you've kind of done an okay job, isn't it? When your kids are, you know, off and able to be a bit sort of independent and do their own thing. But yeah, secretly, I'm hoping that his plans fall through and that he and I can go for a walk. So, because obviously, you know, my daughter, she doesn't really like walking. So, you know, this might be kind of the only chance that we get. And plus, obviously, you don't know how long the weather's going to stay nice. So this might be the only nice day that we get this holiday. I don't know. I haven't seen the weather forecast at all. But yeah, I said I was going to do this assembly line style, didn't I? And then just totally rambled on and forgot what I was doing. But yeah, so it might be the only nice day that we get. So, you know, it's probably best to kind of try and make the most of it, really, if we can at all. Okay. And I do apologise that my cold is still there. I mean, honestly, you know, health-wise or, you know, kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel fine. It really is just, it doesn't sound too great. So, yeah, I just apologise for that again. It's going to be one of those colds, I think, that just, you know, sounds worse than it is. Probably still be sounding like this come Christmas. Oh, I hope not. But sometimes they do drag on like that, don't they? Okay. Oh, I've got a wonderful, lovely story to tell you all. So, yeah, having said that, I had a bit of a rubbish weekend. It wasn't all rubbish because yesterday had the most lovely time. So, went to my eldest, you know, my elder sister. So, I've got two sisters, a young one and an elder one. So, my elder sister, her eldest son, she's got 3 children. Her eldest son, I'm not quite sure now how old he is. I lose track, to be honest. But I don't know, he's maybe like, I don't know, 25, 26. So him and his girlfriend, they are having a baby. It's their first baby, and yeah, they're having a baby. So it's due in March. So, you know, quite a way off yet. But they had yesterday, now I'd never really heard of these before, but they had what you call a gender reveal party. Yeah, it's apparently it's all the rage now, and apparently it's what people do these days. So that's what they did. They had a gender reveal. So what this entails basically is neither of them knew the gender of the baby. So nobody at the party knew the gender of the baby at all. Not a single person. So they didn't know it, you know, my sister didn't know it, nobody knew it, the gender. So, I mean, this obviously must be a bit of a logistical nightmare when you're the person doing the scans, but, you know, I think this is a common thing now. So I guess they're kind of used to it, and, you know, they must just have to shut their eyes at sort of certain moments during the scan, I think. So anyway, they had this gender reveal party, and yeah, basically I have to remember now how this actually worked because it all sounded very complicated. But basically, it's kind of like they have a box like full of balloons, and when the balloons come out, that that says then the gender of the baby. So they're going to either come out, obviously, pink or blue, depending on if you're having a girl or a boy. So the only people that know the sex of the baby are basically, I think they're called a sonographer, the person who's done the scan. They know obviously the sex of the baby, and what they do, they put it in an envelope, and that envelope then is obviously handed to the parents to be, and those parents to be then they employ, I don't know, like a balloon person, who then does this box according to what the sonographer has written on the on the piece of paper, so boy or girl. So they then fill the box with the appropriate coloured balloons, and that's the gender reveal, is the balloons that kind of come out at the party. So yeah, absolutely lovely. I mean, I'd never seen it done before. I'd never heard of it, but oh, it was lovely. And to be fair, it turned out it was a really nice afternoon. I mean, it wasn't sunny, it wasn't a beautiful day like today is. I mean, today's sunny and gorgeous, but it was very mild. So they were able to go out in the garden to actually kind of do the opening of the box, and so all the balloons kind of came up, and oh, it was lovely. So that was absolutely lovely, and the results were they're having a boy. So very, very exciting. And yeah, my sister's son was obviously pleased because I think he wanted a boy. She wasn't really kind of fussed either way, so yeah, she just kind of is pleased now because she'll be able to buy things in the appropriate colour, I guess. But yeah, so that was kind of the first thing, and that was pretty exciting itself. And then we were all just kind of leaving, and my sister said, oh, can you just hang on, because actually there's something else. So we all kind of hung on, and then my sister and my nephew's girlfriend, so i.e. the mum to be, her mum, so my sister and her mum, so that's the two grannies to be, they went off and bought out this big box, and they said, oh, here's a, this is a present from us, from us two, for you both. So, I thought, oh, that's nice, isn't it, to have kind of a bonus present. And, nobody obviously knew what the present was going to be or anything. So, my sister's son went and kind of stood with his girlfriend, and she was obviously the person who was then opening the box, and she opened the box, and then there was another box inside, and I thought, oh, perhaps they've, I don't know, donated some money for a pram or something like that. I didn't really know. Oh my gosh, suddenly another helium balloon floated out, a red heart, saying, will you marry me? And when I looked, my nephew, he was on his knee, proposing. He had a ring, and oh my goodness, that was just so cute. It was such a heartwarming moment. And yeah, I mean, there weren't many kind of dry eyes, I guess, around the room. It was just so cute. So what a very special moment to be, privileged enough to kind of share in. So yeah, I had only gone with, my son and myself, because my daughter, she was having her overnight visit with her dad, which she has started doing in the last couple of weeks. And yeah, so she was there, hence she's still there today. And my middle son, he was working, so he wasn't with us. So it was just my eldest son and myself. We were the only ones, who were there from our kind of household. And oh my gosh, it was so lovely. So when we were going home, we were saying, oh my goodness, what a lovely surprise that was. Because, I don't think anybody knew that was going to happen. And obviously she definitely didn't know. So she was kind of crying, and, oh, it was so cute. And I mean, who doesn't love a bit of romance? oh, it was just lovely. Filled my heart with joy. And so, yeah, I really, really was excited to be able to tell you guys about it, because I know that you will all just find that the most lovely story. Oh, it was just lovely. And I thought, oh, romance isn't dead. It's still alive and kicking. So, yeah, it was lovely. And, yeah, so they're engaged now. I mean, who knows? I don't know whether they'll get married, or, you know, sometimes engagements, they last a long time, don't they? And, you know, weddings, they're so expensive anyway, aren't they? So, you know, who knows? They may well not really get married for a long time. I don't know. But very, very, very sweet and very romantic. And, yeah, we were all just gushing and kind of like, oh, my goodness, that's so cute. And, it was lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. So, yeah, really, really, really nice. Definitely the nicest thing that I've seen for quite a while, to be honest. It was just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, very, very exciting. And, I mean, for me, that was way more exciting than the gender reveal, which was obviously the real reason why we were all there. Because it was such a surprise and, you know, so unexpected. I mean, obviously the gender, you know, I guess we all knew that we were going to find out whether it was a boy or a girl, you know, and I mean, there's only two options there, aren't there? So, yeah, kind of wasn't, you know, well, it was exciting. I mean, that's not right to say it wasn't exciting, but, you know, you knew what you were kind of going there to see. So that was, you know, it was nice, but yeah. The real treat for me, you know, was definitely seeing his proposal. It just was, oh, so special and so lovely. And I just thought, oh, how privileged are we to have, you know, stood witness to this private, lovely moment. So, yeah, it was so cute. So, so, so cute. So, yeah, very, very, very lovely. So, yep, I was excited anyway to come on and tell you guys about it, because I knew that you would obviously all feel similarly excited and, you know, share in the joy that they had. So, yeah, you know, who said romance is dead? Well, I mean, I'm not saying that anyone did say it's dead, but, you know, sometimes it feels certainly like it is, doesn't it? So clearly it's not. It's alive and kicking. So, yeah, very, very, very cute. And it was such a nice way to do it as well, with the balloon just coming out saying, will you marry me? I just thought, oh, that's so sweet. You know, very, very romantic. Very cute. You know, and just lovely that obviously she, you know, she genuinely didn't have a clue that that was about to happen. So, yeah, it was lovely. And, yeah, he gave her a ring and everything. So that was all very nice too. So I've got some other vintage documents actually here, which are in all that rambling. I'd obviously forgotten that I had that here. So, yeah, let's just have a look through these vintage bits and see what I can incorporate from here. So I could probably just incorporate this piece, in fact. Okay. Yeah, anyways, that was absolutely lovely. That was my highlight of the whole weekend. The whole weekend. Okay. There we go. Oh, and I just want to quickly say, I'm so sorry for my recent videos with the jelly plate. I'm sure that loads of you guys have watched Barbara and Louisa's absolutely fantastic video learning how to use the gel plate. I think they called it like gel plate for beginners or gel printing for beginners, something like that. And it was such a brilliant video. Really informative, really brilliant, and yeah, really loads of fun, and they worked so brilliantly together, very slick and professional. And you know, technically that must have been quite a nightmare putting that together and things. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, obviously I've had lots of people commenting saying, oh, you should check out Louisa and Barbara's video. And yeah, thank you so much for that. Obviously I have watched that video I always film ahead. I mean, other than the mass making that I generally film kind of the day before, most of my videos I have filmed ahead. So obviously that particular video, I mean, actually that particular video, I filmed way ahead. I'd filmed way back in the summer. So yeah, I obviously have watched their video, you know, and hopefully I will kind of take on board lots of what they showed in their video when I next use my jelly plate. But yeah, the reason I kind of knew nothing, well, I'm not saying I would definitely be any better now, but you know, the main reason I knew nothing was because obviously I'd filmed that, you know, way in advance to kind of seeing that video from Louisa and Barbara. So yeah, it wasn't that I was kind of like, you know, just ignoring all their valuable advice, you know, which really they had some really brilliant tips. It was just that obviously at the point of filming that video, I obviously, you know, it was back in the summer, they hadn't filmed their video. So yeah, hopefully I can do a bit of a revisit and, you know, hopefully take on some of their wonderful tips and make a better job now. Because they really had some great tips and things in their, you know, their collab video, which was such good fun. Honestly, I loved watching it. So yeah. Oh, those jelly plates. I mean, actually, I have a confession to make. I have pulled mine back out since watching their video because they made it look so easy, didn't they? And I thought, oh, you know, I'm going to have another go. Well, I have to say, I've still really struggled. I've filmed two. I've actually filmed 2 videos of using the gel plate since watching theirs. Well, I've still had no more success really. So yeah, I clearly need a lot more practice. It's one of those things that you watch on YouTube and, you know, everyone makes it look really easy and really effortless. They get these amazing prints and all this, you know. But actually in reality, it's, you know, it's much harder than that to actually get something decent looking. And it's not just decent looking, but what's the word? You know, the layers going on. So yeah, I really kind of have not mastered that at all. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put my videos up. I'm kind of thinking they're just embarrassing really, so probably won't. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, whether I will, because, you know, they're going to be of no value to anyone. Except for sometimes I think you can learn from other people's mistakes because you kind of think, well, actually, that didn't work. I watched so-and-so do that and it didn't work. Yeah, so, I mean, if it goes up, it's really merely from a what not to do point of view. Definitely not from a, ooh, watch this video and get some great tips. Definitely, that's not the intention at all. But yeah, so just a quick kind of disclaimer there. When I filmed my video, it was back in the summer. Obviously, you know, I hadn't seen their video. They hadn't done their video, or perhaps they'd done it, but yeah, it hadn't gone out. So yeah, obviously I have watched their video now and I have tried to take on board some of their tips, although I'm still having very limited success. But, you know, that's a whole nother story, isn't it, really? But yeah, so... but thank you so much to all those lovely people who kind of said, oh, you know, check out their video, because it really was a very, very cool video, wasn't it? And like I say, I mean, that must have been so much work went into actually the, you know, the making of that. So, yeah, really, really brilliant video. Okay. Let's just quickly do that. And these are so handy to have in your stash ready-made. And of course, you know, you can use scraps and things like that for these. I've got some bits that are scraps here and some that are full-size bits, you know, so I've got a mixture. And that's exactly kind of the other thing with doing these is have a mixture of sizes because, you know, sometimes you might want a big one, sometimes you might want a small one. So mix up the sizes that you make and then that's going to kind of serve you best when it comes to using them. So, you know, and mix up perhaps the colours of the papers and things like that that you're actually incorporating in them too. So let's do, just having a look to see whether I've got some other kind of scrappy bits. So, oh, I've also got these little receipty type pieces, which I thought would look really good. So I know mine are kind of going all a bit the same colour. Oh, perhaps I won't do the same colour because that is pretty boring, isn't it? So perhaps we'll do some bluey colour ones. Yeah. Sort of much more bluey, if you know what I mean. So this, I can just have like a little receipt piece on the top as well. So I'll just cut this down here. Okay. There we go. Oh, it seems so peaceful in our house without my daughter here. It's so quiet. So yeah, looking forward to her coming home again and seeing her. I mean, kids are funny like that, aren't they? Because, you know, when they're here, you kind of think, oh my gosh, they're making so much noise. When will they go out? You know, when will they be at school? But of course, you know, as soon as they're gone, you're kind of like, oh no, come back, come back. So yeah. You know, obviously during a half term, if I was filming, she'd normally be here. So it seems like weird her not being here, really. Okay. There we go. Oops. Okay, and just then staple that one together. So yeah, I mean, obviously if you were sewing, you just sew straight across here instead of obviously where I've put the staples. So, you know, sewing or stapling, both work fine. I mean, obviously, I guess the good thing is with the sewing is you're not really going to have to cover up the staples on the back. I mean, not that I always cover up the staples on the back, you know, I don't really mind them being there. They're not very intrusive or anything. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you sewed, you wouldn't even have to do that because there'd just be, you know, there'd just be kind of stitches there. So, well, my son's not been up yet to say that he's going to be able to come on the walk, so it's not really looking good, is it? Because I would have thought he would have come up and kind of motioned to me that he's going to be able to do it. Oh, I hope that he can, but, you know, never mind if he can't. Okay. Yeah, it's really kind of gorgeous looking out there. Absolutely gorgeous. Right. Okay. Let's just take this one down like that. So actually just trim here. Okay, and we will just put one of these receipt pieces, I think. Like that. Okay, and I will marry this, I think, with just some coffee dyed paper. So yeah, let's just go down here on the edge like that. Okay. There we go. Oh, I feel I need now a bit more of that blue. So yeah, I'm going to, I think, maybe even just put this piece in here. So yeah, let's cut that down. And I'm just going to cut it down here. Okay. Put that there. Okie dokie, and again just then staple all that across. And trim that out here. There we go. And then I can again just use some paper, I think, on this one again. So of course I've got this piece here now, you know, which is nice and coordinating. Yep, okay. So put that in like that. Okie dokie, and then just, yep, glue that down. And this one here. Okay. Right, trim that there. Oh, and my middle son, he's got his jab today. So, yeah, that's the other thing that we've got to go and do in a minute, in fact. His appointment is literally in about 20 minutes. So, well, 25 minutes, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to take him to get his jab. And then, obviously, you know, like I say, I'm hoping that he's going to then come for the walk. But if not, he'll obviously then, you know, go off and meet his mate from there. But so that's good. He's having his first jab. You know, but yeah, that's good, isn't it? You know, if we then, I mean, we're not obviously going on another cruise, but I mean, if we have anything then similar, because I don't know what other things are requiring jabs like that, we wouldn't have all that messing about of having to get him, you know, tested like mad every 5 minutes and things like that. So yeah, that's going to be really good once he's had his jab. So, well, I guess he has to have both of them, to be fair. This is his first one. Okay, so then you can obviously decorate them up. You could have like some bling or something. So let's just, oops, pop that down across the top there. Okay. Like that. You know, you don't have to use something like that. You could have, if you've got like some little paper flowers or anything, you know, might look quite cute on this one. I mean, the irony is I was about to staple that down because I thought, oh, perhaps the staple would look good. But I thought, well, I've just glued that paper over just to cover up the staple. Why would I then put another staple on? But I mean, I quite like the staples. So yeah, I guess it depends whether you mind the staples or not. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the staples. I think they're quite nice. Okay. But yeah, you could have something kind of like that on there. That looks quite cute, doesn't it? I might put it on this side actually. Oops. Can't believe we're nearly at the end of October. It's just flying by so madly, isn't it? This whole year it's flown by. Kind of like a blur. Okay. So yeah, you can kind of finish them off with, you know, a variety of different finishing touches. The other thing that I always think looks quite pretty is a bow. So I'm just having a look to see if I've got any kind of actually here, you know, in my little container. I mean, if not, I've got them obviously behind my desk, but I just thought if I've got one here, it would be quite handy. So this one, for example, I could just put down here. So I'll just take that. Like that. Oops. There we go. Oh, I've made a bit of a mess of gluing that, but anyway, I'm sure that you get the gist. I don't know what I've done with this. It's looking terrible. Oh dear. Anyway, it's on there now. Or of course, you know, you could use, I've got my bow printables. They would also look quite cute on these. So I'm just going to ink this up. Yeah, that looks quite cute, maybe on that side actually. Okay. I can hear him on the phone now, actually, so who knows, maybe he's on the phone to his friend now. But yeah, so I mean, hopefully that's given you a few ideas of the types of ways that you could finish them off at the tops. And then of course, you know, you could put these obviously into pockets and things like that in a journal, or you could obviously put them inside like inserts. So if I just kind of pull in like an insert now, I mean, I'm not saying this because of course this one is, you know, is something different, but you know, if this was cut down to size, you could put it inside something like a little booklet, you know, and it would open out with a little flippy pad, you know, or a pocket book, which I think I've got one here. Oh, hold on a second. So this little pocket book here, again, I'm actually in the process of making a flippy pad to go into this one. But it's going to be a long one. So, you know, again, I've made all of these short, but of course you could make long ones depending on your size of your papers. So then you would obviously just have it, you know, just run some glue along and just then glue it in at the top there. So, you know, you've got multiple kind of ways to actually do these. So, well, I'll just quickly show you here because I'll just finish this one off. It needs finishing off anyway. So I'm just going to take sort of that document page. And then what you can do is obviously cut that down to size. Actually, I'm better off doing it this side, and then I don't have to actually cut it so much, do I? So, yep, let's just tear that across here. And then just, I could probably cut it both in one go. So, just take it down that side. And then just here. Again, I just quite like the torn edges, so you know, I quite like having a torn edge here and there. But you know, by all means, kind of finish it off as you fancy. But like that, and then these are torn actually. Are they torn? I'm not sure now. If they are, they're not raggedy torn, they're torn quite straight. So yeah, you might want to kind of mix it up and have a bit more of a raggedy kind of edge there. So like that. And then again, just staple across like that. And then that's going to all go in there quite neatly. So I can then go across there with the document. So that's the very last of that little piece of document there. Oops, and again, just then go over here. I don't know really why I feel the need to fold it first, but you know, that just seems something that I seem to do. But I guess it does help, because if you don't, you might end up gluing it, I suppose, too far down, or you know, not far enough so that you've not got enough page left over the back. So yeah, it's just kind of quite a useful tip, I think, quite a useful thing to do. And then again, can just go over the back. Now on this one, I didn't really even need to go onto the back covering up the staples because it's going to be glued onto the pocket. But you know, that's just another little option. So yeah, then take your pad, and of course then can just glue that in, so either side, whichever side you fancy. So I'm thinking, yeah, I think on this side actually. I was going to have it on this side, which feels like it should be, but then I liked having all of this stuff showing. Oh, it's so tough to decide. I'm going to put it on this side so that I've got the maximum stuff showing on the other side. So yeah. Okay, so we've just glued that down there like that. Okay, and that's your little flippy pad. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that's given you some ideas of, you know, how to use them and where to use them. And then, like I say, of course, you could then, you know, just pop them into a pocket. You could glue them directly onto a journal page, you know, however you like. But they've got kind of lots of different options and uses. So yeah, I really hope that you like them, and you know, hope you had fun making some. If you hadn't made them before, if you'd kind of made them before with me, or you know, made them before generally, hopefully it's just kind of given you a refresher or a kind of reminded you of them. Because like we always say, you know, I think we make journals all the time, and it's very easy to forget the types of things that we like to make and, you know, that we've made in the past. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.